What happens when one of Hollywood's most unforgettable tough guys suddenly leaves the world behind? Today, we remember Donald Gibb, the towering actor best known for playing the legendary character Ogre in Revenge of the Nerds and the powerful fighter Ray Jackson in Bloodsport. With his massive frame, intimidating look, and surprisingly warm personality, Donald Gibb became one of the most recognizable faces in 1980s cinema. But behind the fame, the laughter, and the iconic movie roles was a man who faced personal struggles, health battles, and a quiet final chapter that few fans truly knew about. This is the complete story of Donald Gibb, his life, his Hollywood journey, and the truth behind his death. Donald Richard Gibb was born on the 4th of August, 1954, in New York City, United States. Although he was born in New York, Donald spent much of his childhood in California. From an early age, he stood out because of his incredible size and physical strength. By the time he reached high school, he was already much larger than most students his age. His athletic ability quickly became obvious, and sports became a major part of his life. Donald loved competition. He enjoyed football, basketball, and physical training, dreaming of becoming a professional athlete. Friends often described him as intimidating at first glance, but kind and funny once you got to know him. That contrast would later become one of the defining features of his acting career. Before entering Hollywood, Donald Gibb focused heavily on sports. He attended the University of New Mexico, where he played basketball. Later, he transferred to the University of San Diego to continue his athletic journey. At 6 feet 4 inches tall and powerfully built, Donald looked like a natural athlete. Many people believed he had the potential to play professional football. He briefly pursued opportunities in sports, but fate had different plans for him. An injury and the harsh realities of professional athletics slowly pushed him away from sports and toward another path: entertainment. At the time, Donald had no idea that Hollywood would eventually make him famous. Donald Gibb entered acting almost by accident. Because of his giant size and powerful appearance, casting directors immediately noticed him. In the early years of his career, he often received small roles as bodyguards, bikers, wrestlers, or intimidating tough guys. But despite being typecast, Donald brought something unique to every role: humor. He understood how to make intimidating characters entertaining instead of frightening. This ability would eventually make him unforgettable. Donald Gibb's life changed forever in 1984, when he was cast as Ogre in the comedy film Revenge of the Nerds. The character was loud, aggressive, and physically intimidating, but also hilarious. Audiences instantly loved him. Ogre became one of the most iconic comedy characters of the 1980s. Donald's performance was so memorable that many fans still recognize him primarily for that role today. The success of the movie led to sequels, and Donald returned multiple times as the legendary character. Even decades later, fans continued quoting his lines and celebrating his performance. After the success of Revenge of the Nerds, Donald Gibb gained even more fame through action films. One of his most beloved roles came in the 1988 martial arts movie Bloodsport, starring Jean-Claude Van Damme. Donald played Ray Jackson, a powerful, fearless fighter who quickly became a fan favorite. His chemistry with Van Damme made the film even more memorable. Unlike many action stars, Donald combined strength with charm and humor, making audiences connect with him emotionally. To this day, many fans consider Ray Jackson one of the most iconic characters in martial arts movie history. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Donald appeared in numerous films and television shows. Some of his notable projects included Hancock, U.S. Marshals, Einst, 10, The A-Team, MacGyver, Night Court. He often played large, physically imposing characters, but his comedic timing made him stand out from typical tough guy actors. Fans appreciated that he never seemed arrogant or overly serious. Instead, he embraced his image and entertained audiences with enthusiasm. Away from cameras and movie sets, Donald Gibb lived a quieter life. He was known as a devoted father and family man. Unlike many celebrities, he avoided major scandals and controversy. Friends and colleagues often described him as humble, friendly, and deeply loyal. In later years, Donald stepped away from Hollywood more frequently, focusing on family and personal interests. He occasionally appeared at fan conventions, where audiences loved meeting him in person. Many fans were surprised by how warm and approachable he was. As Donald aged, his health reportedly began to decline. Years of physical strain combined with aging started affecting his body. Though he remained mostly private about his medical condition, reports suggested that he had been dealing with ongoing health complications for some time. Despite these struggles, Donald stayed positive and continued interacting with fans whenever possible. He often reflected on his Hollywood career with gratitude rather than regret. On May 12, 2026, Donald Gibb reportedly passed away at the age of 71 at his home in Texas. Cause of death. According to reports, Donald Gibb died due to multiple health complications related to long-term medical issues. Family members later confirmed the heartbreaking news, asking fans for privacy and prayers during the difficult time. His passing shocked longtime fans who had grown up watching his movies throughout the 1980s and 1990s. After the news spread, tributes flooded social media. Fans shared clips from Revenge of the Nerds and Bloodsport, remembering the joy Donald brought to audiences for decades. Many described him as one of the most lovable giants in Hollywood history. Co-stars and colleagues praised not only his talent, but also his kindness and generosity behind the scenes. For many people, Gibb represented a unique era of entertainment, a time when movie characters felt larger than life. Donald Gibb's legacy lives on through his unforgettable performances. Though he was rarely the lead star, he often became the most memorable person in the room. His roles continue to entertain new generations of viewers, discovering classic 1980s films for the first time. Characters like Ogre and Ray Jackson remain iconic because Donald brought authenticity and personality to every performance. He proved that supporting actors can sometimes leave the biggest impact of all. Donald Gibb may no longer be here, but the laughter, excitement, and memories he created will continue living on forever. Every time fans watch Revenge of the Nerds or Bloodsport, they will remember the giant actor with the unforgettable presence and surprisingly gentle heart. Rest in peace, Donald Gibb. Your legacy will never be forgotten.